Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Russell, talking today with Pete Primeau. He's a longtime member of CrossFit Cleveland in Rocky River. Pete, I'd like to thank you for being my guest on the very first episode of my new podcast I'm calling Just Show Up and Do the Work.
Thanks, Bill.
Pete.
I'm honored to be your first guest, Bill.
Good. You know, as I've said many times when on camera, when somebody sticks a microphone in my face, sometimes I just end up sounding like a dork. Since you are a professional at this, I'm hoping that you're going to make me look at least somewhat good.
I think we can all sound and look like dorks at the worst possible time. So I might outdork you. Who knows?
Cool. Well, so what I'm going to do first, just lay a little groundwork, and then we'll get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
And your journey about getting back in shape. But I want to mention that my goal with this podcast is to help people get unstuck and start living a healthier, stronger, and more energetic lifestyle. Whether they're completely sedentary and they're stuck on the couch and they don't know what to do, or they're in a routine that's just not giving them results anymore, and they're in a rut that way. But to start, can you share with us? You started with us back in 2009. Been quite a while.
The very beginning, we were still on Madison.
Yes, back in the Lakewood days, in the good old days.
Yeah.
Can you share with us and remind me, what was your life like back then in terms of your health and fitness?
So my health and fitness was not good. I think I came to you weighing 285. I had probably finished powerlifting a few years before that. And I continued with the diet of a power lifter, but I did not continue with the exercise of a power lifter. So, probably at my peak at 275, I was probably around 21% body fat at 275. When I came to you at 285, I was probably 35-40% body fat. So I was having a hard time, Bill, sticking to anything. And incidentally, before I actually found you, I was riding my bicycle down in the metro parks, and I saw these guys swinging these things that I later learned were called kettlebells. I didn't even know what they were. And that was you guys. That was your initial start in the metro parks. So it was not good. I had tried everything, Bill. This membership, that membership, I just wasn't sticking to anything, and it really wasn't good. And CrossFit was almost like, I don't even want to try this because you know what? It's just not going to work. Nothing ever works. So I'm not going to even do it. And you know what? I met Stacy and I met you, and it was a free workout that you did on Saturday. And I think I went for 2 or 3 Saturdays in a row. And I said, you know what? This is hard, but I think I can do it. And I really like the people. And I've told Stacy this a million times. And I said, I am so embarrassed to admit this because I'm so disciplined in other areas of my life. But when it came to my health and my fitness, I wasn't disciplined. And it's the social component of our box that keeps me coming every week. And to my everlasting shame, that's the truth.
Good. I'm glad you're still with us. We have a few different sayings and mantras at CrossFit Cleveland. One is walking through the door for the first time is the hardest part about getting yourself back in shape, taking that first step.
Yeah.
Back then it was walking in the park when we didn't have a gym, but now it's walking through the door. And number 2 is, and the basis for this podcast title is, we constantly say you just need to show up consistently, do the work that we have laid out, and you're going to get the results. And it really is as simple as that. I've been criticized by some of my local critics. They say, well, that's just not enough. You need to have special, expertly designed programming with state-of-the-art equipment and blah, blah, blah. You know what? I think the most important thing for people to realize when they get started is they need to find a program that they enjoy coming to, or maybe they don't enjoy it at the time, but it keeps them coming back. And
Yeah.
that's where you're going to see the result. Just show up and do the work. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
I agree with just show up and do the work. And I would say this, the reason it was successful for me is when I came, it was almost like this community just surrounded me and welcomed me. And I'm always cognizant when I see somebody new come in of that feeling. What does, I can still remember that feeling. And I always try to reach out and at least say hi. I'm not as outgoing as some people. I may not do a full blown introduction, but I'll always welcome somebody in. And as soon as I know their name, I will say something to them. I think that's it. That's a huge part of it. And I want to just address one thing really quick. And any critic about equipment or anything else, forget about the equipment. The most important thing is to have an expert set of eyes and to have trainers that care about you enough to correct your form when it's wrong and to even know when your form is wrong. So this is what I would say to those critics. Just because you get on a pretty machine and your trainer's over there sipping his or her coffee and barking some orders out every now and again does not mean that you're being properly coached. And I can tell you from experience that Bill, Stacy, Alex, and the rest of the coaches do a great job of giving us feedback. All of us, the classes are small, and it's almost feels like a one-on-one session. So that's my take on that. Sorry.
So good. You gave me a lot of answers to the questions I had laid out for you. You're making this so easy for me. Thank you. One specifically I had written down, you've been coming with us, working out with us since back in the early days. You did have a little bit of an injury. You had some surgeries. So you took a little bit of a time off and you came back.
Yeah.
And just what is it that keeps you continuing with us instead of bouncing around to something else, to the shiny object of the week? And it might have been.
That is very simple. At the heart of it all, I'm a pragmatist. And it's the only thing that I've ever been able to stick to. So why would I not come back? So that's my answer. Another answer to that same question would be the people. After a few weeks of rehab, I remember when I first came back from one of my knee replacements, and I was barely doing anything. And one of the things that I would like to say to anybody out there that's thinking about doing CrossFit and they see these unbelievably sculpted studs and studettes doing these CrossFit games, and they are just phenomenal athletes. They really are. And they're impressive, but they can also be intimidating, and they can also kind of drive us regular folk away. And the one thing that I would like to say to everybody out there, when I came to Bill, you name an injury, I probably had it playing Division III football. I had a powerlifting career that was remarkably injury-free, except for a few things I did to myself in training, but I never hurt myself in a competition. There's not one exercise that we do, not one, that cannot be swapped out, modified, or even if there's not a known modification for it, Bill and Stacy will come up with one for you. I mean, I think that I've probably been a bigger challenge than most, Bill, because my shoulders, my elbows, my knees, my back, I've got quite a few injuries. And so I would say there's nothing that can't be modified. And there is no place that you can start that would be a bad place to start. Start where you are. Take your first step in, come and do a free workout on Saturday. I'm assuming you still do that.
Yes.
Do your free workout on Saturday, and don't just do it once. Do it a few times and give it a good try. And I think what you'll find is there's not one exercise that you cannot modify. And I think what most people will find is you would be hard pressed to go to any gym or any organization anywhere, whether that be a church or a civil group, whatever it happens to be, and find nicer people. One of the things that I constantly talk about is you attract what you are. And if you're a good person, I think you attract other good people. And I think you and Stacy have done a wonderful job of attracting a lot of really great people.
Good. Well, thank you, Pete. We pride ourselves in being what we say is a very supportive and a welcoming community where everybody respects one another, and everyone gains inspiration from seeing others who show up and do the work. Could you tell me maybe one or two or three of your fellow members that maybe inspire you the most?
Sure. Kathy, she inspires me. She started off slow and really in this past year has just accelerated her improvement. She does a great job. Sam came to us with nothing more than a little bit of dogged determination. And no matter how out of shape he was, he kept working hard, and you didn't see the results right at the beginning, but now he's like a different human being. He's like half the size he was.
Yes.
And the other one is just an absolute warrior, and that's Alex. She is amazing. She's just inspirational. I mean, whenever I'm tired, and I'm working out and she's working out, I just look over at her and go, come on. I mean, look at this. Yeah, she's amazing. She's a great athlete.
And turning into a coach and going to be one of our best coaches.
She's a fantastic coach, and she does not let you off the hook. No, and it's funny because, I'm old enough to be her father, and she does not let me off the hook at all. And I love that. And I think anybody that's there that really wants to get better. And that's one of the interesting things about CrossFit and about your box in particular, Bill, is you guys have found a way to thread the needle between competitiveness and compassion, and found that sweet spot where people, if they want to be competitive, they can be competitive. And if they just need somebody to hug them, I guess in this new world we're in, it's a virtual hug. We'll do that too. And creating that atmosphere in your box is just huge. So
thank you for recognizing that. And it's certainly not by accident. We do that. We make every attempt to make it as welcoming as possible for everybody. And it's interesting, the three people you mentioned, Alex is second year of college. She's young. She's in great shape. She's got lots more to do and grow. Sam is a few years out of college. And using his words, he just let himself go. And one day said, I have got to stop. And then you mentioned Kathy, who's done an amazing job. She's our age. She just turned the same age as that you and I are. Yeah. So we run a wide range of ages. I think probably we have, as an average or mean age, we probably have the highest out of the CrossFit boxes in our area. But we have a lot of young people and a lot of people even a few years older than us.
Yeah.
And everybody gets along.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And if there's the type that don't get along with people, we have a way of just getting them to move along and out the door. Yes. And you mentioned that, like, Sam has worked hard from the beginning, and Kathy too. I think the real turn was when they started nutrition coaching with Stacy and Courtney,
Yeah.
and getting this weekly accountability to not learn a new diet or see what the new macro fad of the week is, but to just learn good habits, new habits. And Stacy and Courtney are excellent at working with people to just slowly identify bad habits and turn them into good habits, a little bit at a time, and
Yeah.
make it a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's what she had a call with Sam the other day. We were on when we were out of town on a wedding trip last weekend. Had a call with Sam, and one of the comments he made was he came back from a vacation with his family, and Stacy was asking him how he did and any challenges that he had with keeping his eating on track while he was gone. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, wish we would have recorded this, is he said it was really easy.
Yeah.
Because what she's done is turned his bad habits into good habits.
Yeah.
And he's not over analyzing things, and he's not harping on macros and counting everything. He just eliminates some of the bad habits and understands how to replace them with good.
Yeah.
And performance there, and we've seen it across the board with all of our nutrition clients that do nutrition coaching along with the fitness classes, is they just immediately bump to a new level. And
Yeah.
some people, like yourself, you're very disciplined and you can do that on your own. But others, it really helps to have that accountability.
You want to know something, Bill? Stacy, I consider Stacy my nutrition coach. And when I finally started to listen to her about a year ago, that's when I started to really get really good results. So yeah, I'll testify. I just haven't paid separately for it. She just kind of gives it to me on accident because that's who she is in her heart. And you guys have both of you gone out of your ways above and beyond what any, box or gym membership should ever encompass in terms of extra tips on training, extra tips on nutrition. You guys are always spot on with your nutrition tips. And, this is what I would say to somebody out there who struggles and says, there's really just a few very, very simple modifications that if you make them, you don't have to depend on willpower anymore. You don't have to you don't have to have a chart. There's just a handful of things to do. And really, I could take it down to the three big levers that will change everything for you. And Stacy and Bill and Courtney are all able to give that to you guys. So I concur. I think the coaching that Stacy gives us on nutrition and some of the recipes. And, one of the things that I absolutely love about our box is every now and again, you'll have treats. And I'm like, is this a good treat or a bad treat? And so often it's a good treat. And I'm like, really, this is good for you? And it's really not bad for you. And it tastes that good. So now I have no excuse because Stacy's already printed out the recipe. She has multiple copies so you can take one with you. So at the end of the day, if you belong to our box, you have no excuses. There's no excuses. Right. But here's the other thing that I think is important too, Bill, that sometimes we might lose track of. And that's this. Sometimes, sorry, my glasses just went. Got new glasses coming any day, so I can't wait for that. Sometimes we get hung up on trying to be perfect. And going back to the original thing that you said, for me, I would work out, do all my nutrition properly, do it all together, or I would do none of it. And it was all or nothing. But for a long time, I would show up and do the work, and my nutrition was hit or miss, and my results were kind of hit or miss. But at least I wasn't going in the wrong direction, And one of the things that has to require a lot of discipline for you and Stacy and all the coaches, you see us with less clothes on than we normally wear every day. You know when we're gaining weight. You know when we're losing weight. You know when we're on it, and you know when we're not on it. And one of the things that I would say to all the potential members out there and anybody that is in our box already, you know, one of the things that I appreciate is you're always welcome to come in and get a workout, and there's no pressure. You don't have to do all the nutrition things perfectly. But I will tell you this, if you just focused on 3 of them, you'd be more than halfway home. Seriously, it's not complicated. It's not complicated at all.
It really isn't. You know, and our third mantra that I didn't mention earlier was our favorite nutrition tip that we coined. Well, we started using it. So I can't take credit for the term, but stop eating crap.
Yeah.
Eat real food. It was on our whiteboard for years. It's just that simple. And what you do then is we just teach people what is considered crap, and there's varying degrees, you know, and then you don't have to eliminate everything, but reducing, or at least being aware. But eating real food. Stop eating crap.
Yeah.
Sugar, cheap vegetable oils, processed foods, and that's what she does. Helps you figure it out. And it's amazing what I find. We have so many, you know, our gym, most CrossFit gyms are made up of professional people. And so we have a wide range of business owners like yourself, doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurse practitioners, lots and lots of professional, highly educated people. I think we have a half a dozen people with PhDs or doctorate level education.
We do.
And most of them don't know jack crap about. I'm surprised I haven't sworn yet on my own show. I swear a lot, right?
Get it out of the way.
They don't know shit about nutrition, and it's amazing. But they're willing to learn.
Yeah.
And realize, wow, it really isn't that hard to get better habits. But you do need constant education, because we have not been taught growing up. You know, my father, he was actually a rocket scientist. He was an engineer at NASA. He was on the Apollo program. He worked there for 30 years. He used to say, when I was a kid or growing up, that sugar's fine because it's just energy. Because it doesn't matter. You could eat sugar your whole life. It's fine. It's like, well, Dad, maybe that's what they thought back then. He was very, very smart, but had no clue about what was good. He salted anchovy. He salted what are those little things you take out of the jar? Sardines. He used to put salt on sardines. So, anyway, if he was still alive today, I'd clean up some of his habits, but he didn't. He lived a long, healthy life.
Good.
All right. So, Pete, I'm really glad that you were able to be my first guest on my first podcast of Just Show Up and Do the Work. As a final note, and you probably have mentioned it, but maybe state it again, what would you say to somebody who's reluctant or most likely scared of starting or contacting us at CrossFit Cleveland?
Just walk in, just walk in, just come in. Just come in Saturday at 11. Just come in. That's it. Just come in.
Take the first step. Walking through the door is the hardest part.
You know what? Once you walk through that door, you will literally feel the energy in this box, and the acceptance and the warmth and the caring. It's all there. It's not like anything that you've ever experienced before. So, you know, just take the first step and listen. It's either for you or it's not for you. If it's not for you, you know, you'll make that decision.
You'll know right.
But I'll be very shocked if it's not. And if you're like me and you had tried everything else and you had done, you know, other gyms, other programs, this, that, and the other, and you're almost like at the end of your rope and you're just want to give up, don't give up. Really, just try one more time and walk through that door at 11 o'clock on a Saturday and give a free workout a try and see what happens. That's what I would say.
Thank you. And if anybody listening wants to take that first step, it's real easy. Contact us. We do want you to contact us before you just walk in the door, because we do have some class limits based on the current environment, but we're welcome. You contact us on our website, crossfitcleveland.com/first step. We'll get you to a forum that you can contact us, or just call the number or text the number that you see on the screen. So great, Pete. I appreciate it very much. Real quick, give you a 30-second commercial. You can give a plug for your business if you'd like. I know you're a real go-getter.
Listen, I don't want to plug my business. My business is going through the roof right now. So I've been very lucky and blessed to be in the home furnishings business for the last 39 years. And all is well there. If I have the opportunity to talk for a few more seconds, I just really want you guys to give CrossFit Cleveland and Rocky River a chance. Let Bill and Stacy put you through a workout and take it from there.
All right.
That's my plug.
Thank you very much. And we're going to wrap it up. You have a great day.
You too.
We'll see you
Thank you.
next time.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready to take your first step, schedule a brief phone call to talk with a coach. We'll answer any questions you have and schedule a free light class for you to try. Or maybe a free initial consultation and body composition scan with a nutrition coach. Or we can simply schedule a brief meeting at the gym to chat and give you a tour. Visit our website at crossfitcleveland.com, or you can call 216-812-7841. Thanks, and have a great day.